Yesterday, James Dunmore, the monster facing charges for the tragic murder of Allisha Watts, appeared in a Montgomery County courtroom for a probable cause hearing. Allisha Watts, a beautiful, well-loved, and well-respected young entrepreneur, was last seen as she left James's home in Charlotte on July 16th. She had plans to attend a comedy show at Bojangles Coliseum that evening, but she never arrived. Concern grew when Allisha failed to show up for work on July 19th following her visit with James over the prior weekend. Her friends were deeply worried by her sudden silence and lack of communication. So, on July 26, a gathering of concerned friends and family members traveled from Moore County to Charlotte to demand answers from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police. It was during that period that Allisha's friends began highlighting what they perceived as significant red flags. For nearly 6 agonizing weeks, Allisha's family and friends held on to the hope that she would return safely. Unfortunately, their hopes were tragically shattered when her lifeless body was discovered near a cemetery in the town of Norman on August 24th, just a bit more than a month later. Allisha's boyfriend James was arrested at his home in University City that same day and has been held without bond in the Montgomery County Jail since. After hours of testimony from police officers, a medical examiner, and James's wife, Artie Bruton, who has come forward in support of Allisha's family, the court determined there was probable cause for the charge of murder. And they reveal some pretty alarming new details about the day Allisha was murdered. We're going to get into it, but first be sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on updates to this story, trending topics, and so much more. Now let's get into it. On Thursday, the court established probable cause that James Dunmore committed the murder of Allisha Watts on or around July 18th. This marked James's second appearance in a Montgomery County District courtroom as he faces charges in connection with the tragic death of his girlfriend, Allisha Watts, who hailed from Moore County. The arrest of James Dunmore followed shortly after detectives made a grim discovery: human remains concealed in the woods near a cemetery along the Montgomery-Richmond County border. Allisha's lifeless body was found in an area that investigators had previously searched multiple times. Sheriff Ronnie Fields disclosed that officials believed that her body had been there since July 18th, the same day when James was found unresponsive in Allisha's Mercedes-Benz SUV in Anson County. Sheriff Fields went on to explain that he had scoured the area 7 to 8 times, and it was digital evidence that eventually directed them to that particular location. Attorneys further revealed that police found Allisha's body about 300 yards in the woods in Montgomery County by data gleaned from cell phone records and her car's GPS system. Prosecutors called several witnesses, including investigators from agencies involved with the case. During the hearing, detectives from Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and Moore County Sheriff's Office took the stand to provide testimony regarding the search efforts and how they pinpointed James as the prime suspect. Their testimony detailed the events of July 18th when James was discovered unresponsive in Allisha's SUV, which was parked in the DMV parking lot in Polkton, a spot often visited by troopers refueling their vehicles. Detective Childers with the Missing Persons Unit said that when James was located in Allisha's Mercedes, he had on blood pressure medication and was found unresponsive before being rushed to the ICU in Union County. James was taken to Atrium Health in Monroe to be treated. When detectives went to speak with James in the following days, they observed him sweating profusely and breathing rapidly. James told them that he wished to continue watching TV and he didn't have any intention of speaking with them without legal counsel. Moore County detectives said Thursday at court that James and Allisha had gone to the mall on July 16th, but never returned home. It appears that James had a troubling history with DV and had served time in prison for a kidnapping conviction in Virginia. His wife in North Carolina, who separated from him after a relationship of 15 years, described James as controlling, manipulative, and calculating. She made DV allegations against James just a couple of months prior to Allisha's disappearance. Artie Bruton, James Dunmore's wife, also took the stand and delivered a deeply emotional testimony. Back in May, Miss Bruton had sought a protective order against James, citing threats to her life, a harrowing kidnapping incident, and disturbing allegations of SA. The night following their separation, James drove her around in a car for several hours, looking at her saying, "I should murder your ass. I should murder your ass right now." Ms. Bruton had also reported an arson incident involving her BMW to Durham authorities, strongly suspecting James's involvement. In July, the same month, Allisha was killed. While Ms. Bruton was having her Honda serviced, she made a startling discovery: a tracking device hidden beneath her vehicle. She firmly believes that James had placed the device there to monitor her movements. Daniel Poplin, a paramedic who also serves as a county medical examiner, provided testimony as well. Mr. Poplin was summoned to the location where Allisha's remains were discovered. In court, he shared his initial assessment of the cause of Allisha's death, indicating that it likely involved both blunt force trauma and strangulation, as evidenced by injuries of her skull. Mr. Poplin made it clear that the official cause of Allisha's death had not yet been conclusively determined, that official determination would be issued by the state medical examiner's office. Remember, as the unfolding events played out, there were reports of a woman arriving to retrieve items from Allisha's vehicle? As it turns out, this woman was James's older sister. When she gathered belongings from Allisha's SUV at the DMV, she discovered Allisha's purse and luggage, but notably, her phone was missing. This is a bit different from the original reporting. Detective Childers testified that James's sister had gotten the key fob to the Mercedes when she visited James in the hospital. James's sister later cooperated with detectives by providing them with a bag containing James's personal items from the hospital, which included muddy sweatpants, sweatshirts, and soiled shoes filled with pine needles and vegetation. Charlotte Mecklenburg police reported that detectives examined James's doorbell camera footage and discovered missing blocks of time. And as a result of this discovery, James also faces accusations of deleting videos from July 17th to 18th, which corresponds to the days following the last known sightings of Allisha at his residence in North Charlotte. If James is found guilty, he could potentially face either a life sentence without the possibility of parole or even the death penalty. Allisha's mother has expressed her feelings, stating, "If he is the one responsible for this, he deserves to have his eyes closed just like my daughter's, which will never open again." She emotionally recounted breaking down upon seeing him for the first time since her daughter's disappearance, and she further emphasized her deep confusion as to why anyone would want to take the life of such a kind, wonderful, and innocent young lady. James's motive for the killing of Allisha remains unclear. James Dunmore has been in jail since his initial court appearance on August 28th, and his upcoming court date is set for October 23rd. I'm going to be following this case through to trial. Is this one you're interested in following with me? What other cases would you like me to cover? Let me know down in the comments. My ongoing thoughts and prayers are with the family during this difficult time. Justice for Allisha Watts.